the Weather Xtreme video for Tuesday, the 2nd of February. I'm James Spann. Groundhog Day, but too much to talk about. We'll deal with that later. The chance of severe weather across the state later today and tonight. And then cooler air arrives tomorrow. But obviously the focus is on that threat later today. So let's dive in there and check things out. This is the water vapor satellite view as the day begins. A very dynamic trough lifting out of the southwest United States. And we are very mild as this day begins. 64 for Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. Anniston 61. Again, today we'll expect a high in the lower 70s. There's the watch warning map. Winter storm warnings from Colorado to Wisconsin. Blizzard warnings for parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, and Minnesota. In our state, we have dense fog advisories for parts of East Alabama. From near Anniston and Gadsden, south down to Dothan, that US 431 corridor, and wind advisories in effect for about the northern two-thirds of the state today. Understand the pressure gradient winds will be increasing. That's not thunderstorm winds. Now, this is the convective outlook for today, a risk of severe storms basically from the Gulf Coast up to Indianapolis and Cincinnati. The enhanced risk runs from southwest Alabama, southeast Mississippi, up to the Ohio River. And that's the setup in our state. The enhanced risk has been expanded a little bit in the new outlook. This is now for areas west of a line from near Scottsboro to Birmingham to Grove Hill and Millry. And this includes Tuscaloosa, Greensboro, Utah, Demopolis, Jasper, Fayette, Hamilton, Haleyville, places like that. That's where the greater chance of seeing a tornado would be today. The standard slight risk includes Anniston, Gadsden, Sylacauga, Clanton, Camden, and Mobile, and then the marginal risk for places like Alexander City, Auburn, Opelika, Troy, and Geneva. And then tomorrow, a marginal risk, and this is after 6 a.m. tomorrow, marginal risk over parts of southeast Alabama as the line keeps on progressing to the south and east. Rain for the next 5 days, valid through Sunday morning. Numbers have come up a little bit. Now, this is suggesting rain amounts of about 2 inches. This is coming from the high-resolution RPM model that we have available at the TV station, and you can see it's got a bullseye really near the Shelby County Airport of 3.2 inches with a corridor of very heavy rain down through parts of Bibb, Chilton, Perry, and Dallas counties. Birmingham and Gadsden going over 2 inches, Fort Payne as well. And again, the line seems to be slowing down a little bit late tonight, and that might open the door for some flooding issues, but I don't think it will be widespread. And quickly for the snow fans, that's the good snow base up there, the snow belt. Goodland, Kansas, Omaha, Des Moines, up into upper Michigan. All right, let's take a look at the conditions here. This is the GFS, the 06C run at noon today. There's your trough, surface low, northeast Kansas, heavy snow, blizzard conditions up in the cold air north of that, with a trailing band of showers and storms down to the south, the front down to Shreveport and Lake Charles. Midnight tonight, the surface low is over Iowa. The cold front down through Memphis and Vicksburg on the Mississippi River. So let's dig a little deeper. Now, this is the instability this evening, and these numbers have actually come down over East Alabama, and they've come up a tad over West Alabama. So understand initially when the storms form late this afternoon, it's going to be over the western side of the state. If you're in Anniston or Gadsden, you will not have any severe weather problems this afternoon or early tonight. And the numbers are highest really over parts of eastern Mississippi. And again, these are not overwhelming numbers. The instability values run a little over 500 joules per kilogram. And we have seen some modeling data with warmer air aloft at 500 millibars. That might be one of the limiting factors in this. This is what the 1 kilometer output looks like coming from the HRRR model this evening at 6 o'clock. And another thing to watch, it kind of shows showers. And really, I don't think that would be severe if this verifies over Alabama with a broken line of strong to severe storms over central Mississippi. And again, wanted to show the instability coming off the HRRR, and it really doesn't have much at all for our state. If this verifies. And again, that would be a limiting factor, which is good. The instabilities do rise to over 1,000 joules over Mississippi. But again, That's going to be a key factor. And remember, with instability, it's not just warmth at the surface. It's the whole profile through the atmosphere. Look at the wind fields. This is the low-level jet, 850 millibars, about 5,000 feet off the ground. Winds are screaming up over the Tennessee Valley, over 65 knots, but certainly sufficient farther south for severe storms. This is the bulk shear between 0 and 1 kilometers, and that is certainly sufficient to get updrafts rotating, and accordingly a tornado threat. And this is the STP coming off the HRRR against 6 o'clock, and again, it's got some pretty robust numbers. In fact, those numbers exceed 3 or 4 units over northeast Mississippi. So there's just a lot of, questions here. This is not fully carved in stone. We could see it going either way, really. And again, this is the timing. No real change. We'll kind of open up the window at 3 o'clock over West Alabama. And then as you work your way to the east later tonight, the chance of severe storms. Initially, we'll watch for any discrete cells that form out there by themselves that might try and rotate and produce a tornado. Then later tonight, everything evolves into a long squall line, and the main threat becomes damaging straight-line winds. And the threat of severe weather should wane after midnight as the air becomes more stable. So we'll strap in and watch it together. Tomorrow's storms will be over southeast Alabama at midday. Dry air begins to work in. The sky should clear over North Alabama late in the day. And no real super cool air. The high tomorrow is going to be in the 60s, mid-60s, not quite as warm as today. Thursday, noticeably cooler. The high Thursday will drop into the low 50s with a 1032 high pushing in. So, again, we'll start the day in the 30s. The high will be in the lower 50s. And Friday, the sky will be sunny. Friday morning will be chilly with upper 20s. The high Friday, low to mid-50s. The sky will be sunny. Weekend fans, Saturday looks good, dry. Again, we start the day near freezing. The high will be in the 50s. And this is Sunday. We've seen a lot of different variations in this. A little wave comes out of the Gulf. Sunday, now it's the GFS has it on the coast of the Carolinas, suggesting the rain with this feature stays east of the state. I still think it might not be a bad idea to mention clouds and maybe some risk of light rain Sunday, especially south and east of Birmingham. And could be a cool day with temperatures only in the 40s if this verifies. And then Monday, there's troughing over the east, and kind of a clipper comes in, maybe suggesting a few snow flurries north of here. But again, we're not going to mention that. If that were to happen, that would not be a big deal. But man, that's a cold look right there. This is the middle of next week, Wednesday the 10th. Very deep trough digging down through here. At midday, cold air advection. We could stay in the 30s all day. And again, maybe some snow flurries north and east of Alabama. And look at the anomalies. Wow, that's going to be a very brutally cold day for Chicago and Minneapolis, and we'll deal with that air Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And this is the 11th, and again, you can see it looks dry and pretty cold out there. Check the teleconnections. Arctic oscillation going negative. That opens the door for the cold air to be scoured out of the Arctic region. Now, the NAO kind of hugs the neutral line, and that kind of determines if cold air is indeed flushed out, where does it go? But again, for now, that looks fairly neutral in about 10 days. And again, these numbers, you can see the progression to cooler air later this week. And I think the middle of next week will be colder than what you see here. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a day middle of next week with highs only in the 30s. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here later today, if the weather allows. That's a big question mark. If we're in severe weather, of course, we can't do that. But one way or the other, stay with the blog today for updates on the situation. And if you can, join us this evening on ABC 3340 News on television or our live stream at 4, 5, and 6 and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.